There are advantages in passing the Eiken second grade test, including some concessions for university entrance examination test in English. There is an overall trend of English testing in Japan moving towards the assessment of 4 skills, including writing and speaking. The Eiken second grade test is no exception. Now, the writing section is considered just as important as the reading and listening sections. In fact, as of now, if you write a decent essay and get top marks, it is almost guaranteed that you will pass the Eiken second grade test. Today, I'm here to speak about the Eiken second grade composition program and how best you can write an essay in order to score good marks. As with many other skills, you need to do some practice before you feel comfortable. Writing an English essay for the Eiken second grade test is easy. In this video, I will discuss 3 points. One is the construction of a typical essay for the Eiken second grade test. Second, I will talk about the level of vocabulary needed. Then, sentence structure will be the last topic. Analysis of model compositions published by the testing institution. In order to write a good essay, the first step is to analyze the past problems. Please look at the table here. The testing institution, Eiken Foundation of Japan, makes available various test-related materials, including the past test on their websites. I strongly recommend that you visit their site. The address of their website is shown below the table. I took 3 sample answers for the writing problems and made a list of all the words used in the writing problems. The upper part lists all function words. The lower part lists all content words. Function words mainly relate to grammatical matters. Test 2017-3, 2017-2, and 2017-1 at the top of the table denote names of individual 3 past tests. Article, preposition, conjunction, and pronouns are some of function words. In the article row, you will see a and the used in all 3 model answers of the tests. A and the are listed only once in the table, but they are of course used many times in the respective model answers. This illustrates that you must know how to use the articles to get good marks, for example. The same goes with the list of preposition words and other function words. Relative nouns are used in test 2017-1 and relative adverb is used in test 2017-2, meaning that adjective clause or relative clause can be within the scope of the tasks. All kinds of modal verbs are used, including would, suggesting that subjunctive mood can be also within the scope of the test. You must also be able to use auxiliary verbs, but the absence of have as an auxiliary verb is notable. According to the data here, perfect tense, either present perfect or past perfect, may not be required for the writing test at the Eiken second level. Vocabulary, content words. As you can see in the table, nouns, lexical verbs, and adjectives used in the compositions vary depending on the subject of the essay. It is quite obvious. What you can also observe from this list is the level of vocabulary you may be expected to use. For instance, nouns include air, bicycle, bus, car, computer, device, company, freedom, etc. It should be also noted that there are some gerunds or ing words. Lexical verbs include agree, encourage, give, limit, make, produce, think, go, have, leave, try, use, waged, break, love, start, etc. They are all basic verbs. Adjectives include dangerous, harmful, public, important, good, young, etc. It should be noted that some adjectives are in the comparative form. Content adverbs are hardly used. Conjunction and sentence structure. If you look at the conjunction section again, you will see coordinate and subordinate conjunctions such as and, or, if, when, because. This suggests that to get higher marks, you should write complex sentences in addition to simple sentences. A complex sentence has one independent clause and one or more dependent clauses. Sentence structure. For example, let's look at the next sentence. I bought the watch I liked on the internet because it was cheaper. I bought the watch on the internet is a clause because it has a subject I and verb bought. It is a main idea. Because it was cheaper is also a clause, adding information to the first clause or providing the reason why you bought the watch. A sentence with this independent clause and dependent clause combination is called a complex sentence, and it is of your benefit to show to the test grader that you have the skill to successfully construct this type of more complicated sentence structure. Sample problem. First, I have to make a disclaimer statement. The class here, including the suggested sample answer and solutions, are presented by me independent of the testing institution, Eiken Foundation of Japan, and they are not endorsed by the institution. I cannot be held liable for any consequences arising from your use of this video. Now, here is the sample problem. State your opinion concerning the following topic. These days, some people buy things on the internet. Do you think more people will do so in the future? Preparation. Plan the essay before you start writing. You may draw a plan of your essay onto the paper. Write down some keywords that form your arguments. Without a plan, you may end up writing a disorganized essay of poor quality. The cohesion and coherence of your work is important. You must write an essay in which you have a consistent logic. Because this essay is very short, your composition can be only one paragraph. The paragraph can be divided into 4 sections: the introduction, first reason, second reason, and the conclusion. Spend a few minutes planning your essay and decide on how you will develop your arguments. At this point, you must settle on the 2 discussion points. Composition requirements. You must write an essay in direct response to the question. Your essay must have a word count of 80 to 100. I believe that you should aim for 100 words. Your opinion or thesis statement must be supported by 2 reasons. There are 3 points listed in the problem directions, which you may or may not use. The list is there to help you come up with ideas, so it's in your best interest to take advantage of them. If you decide that 1 or 2 of the points listed there are useful for your arguments, then you should use them. If not, then use any points that you think would be more appropriate. Structure. Now, let's settle on the structure of the essay more in details. With just 100 words, the essay can be constructed in 1 paragraph. I will divide the paragraph into 4 sections, roughly 20 words for the introduction, 35 words each for the first and second reasons, and 10 words for the conclusion, 100 words in total. Thesis statement. The question is, these days, some people buy things on the internet. Do you think more people will do so in the future? The graders of your essay want to know how well you write your English. They are not interested in what kind of person you are. Whether your essay response is positive to the given statement or negative does not matter. Choose whichever position is easier for you to write the essay about. If you are unsure, then go for the positive stance. Usually, it is an easier position to argue for. Theoretically, there is a third position in which you may answer, it depends. But the middle ground position is not a good idea. The length of the essay is very limited, so you probably don't have enough space to make a complicated argument. Sample answer. Here is one sample answer that you can write. I believe that more people will buy things on the internet in the future. For one, buying things on the internet is often cheaper. When I wanted to buy a watch, I visited a few stores. Finally, I bought the watch I liked on the internet because it was cheaper. Secondly, shopping on the internet is easier and more convenient. You can choose any item you like on the screen, and it is easy to pay for it by credit card at home. In conclusion, internet shopping will become increasingly popular among people for cost and convenience. 97 words. Introduction section. I believe that more people will buy things on the internet in the future. In the Eiken second grade writing program, the introduction can be very simple and short. In this example, I took the positive answer stance. You can start the introduction section with the thesis statement directly responding to the given statement. In the example here, I simply copy and pasted the given statement in the program, stating, I believe that more people will buy things on the internet in the future. If you want to increase the word count in the introduction section, one thing you can do is to add, and I have two reasons for this opinion, at the end of the sentence. This will give you an additional safe 8 words. Body 1 section. For one, buying things on the internet is often cheaper. When I wanted to buy a watch, I visited a few stores. Finally, I bought the watch I liked on the internet because it was cheaper. Start by giving the first reason why you took the position you stated in the introduction section. In this case, I picked up cost for the first reason. Start by stating the first reason in a short, direct, simple sentence. In this case, for one, buying things on the internet is often cheaper. For one is a transition phrase to indicate to the reader that I'm about to state the first reason. Then add 1 or 2 additional sentences that support your first reasons. Personal experience is easy to write about and often effective for providing specific evidence. I have never bought a watch on the internet myself, but it doesn't matter. It is advisable to make these supporting sentences complex sentences. In this case, in fact, there are 2 complex sentences. One is, when I wanted to buy a watch, I visited a few stores. And the other is, finally, I bought the watch I liked on the internet because it was cheaper. These sentences both have a complex sentence structure. If you can, you should at least use 1 complex sentence. It is important that you demonstrate to the grader that you have the ability to compose a complex sentence such as the one I just mentioned. I also add that to make a complex sentence, you have a few options. You can add an adverbial clause, an adjective clause, or a noun clause. In fact, the Eiken second grade test model answers among the 3 tests use all 3 types. Body 2 section. Secondly, shopping on the internet is easier and more convenient. You can choose any item you like on the screen, and it is easy to pay for it by credit card at home. Most of the principles suggested for the Body 1 section also apply to Body 2. If you haven't used a complex sentence in the Body 1 section yet, then you should use one here. Start with a transition word followed by a short and simple sentence giving the second reason for your opinion. In this case, I chose convenience. The text, shopping on the internet is easier and more convenient, has two things in mind in terms of earning marks. One, the use of gerund, and two, the use of comparative adjectives. After the second reason sentence, a few supporting sentences should follow, the same as in the first reason section. Never add sentences that are not related to the topic sentence. Conclusion section. In conclusion, internet shopping will become increasingly popular among people for cost and convenience. The conclusion sentence is optional. If you have already exhausted 100 words by the time you complete the second reason section, then perhaps you may end there. If you still have some space left, then add a text to conclude your essay. You already stated your opinion once in the first part of the paragraph, so it is better to reaffirm your opinion using different words and phrases. In this case, I added, in conclusion, internet shopping will become increasingly popular among people for cost and convenience. Now the subject is changed from people to internet shopping, and some adjectives are changed to synonyms or to adverb form, for example, more to increasingly. This technique, saying the same thing but in different words, is called paraphrasing, and it is a very useful tool in English essay writing. Transition words. In the sample essay, the first and second reason start with the transition words for one and secondly, respectively. These words or phrases make it easy for readers to follow the logic and are called transition words or discourse markers. Effective use of transition words enhances coherence and cohesion of the essay, so it is highly recommended. Practice makes perfect. I suggest that you follow the essay structure suggested here and keep the text short and simple. After writing your essay, do not forget to check your work to eliminate any misspelling, inappropriate use of words, or grammatical errors, such as subject-verb agreement. Creative writing is not required here. Stick to the basics and write a solid essay that is simple and easy for the test grader to evaluate. Writing a good English composition requires practice. One good approach is to make it a habit to read a storybook and then write a summary of it. This concludes my lesson today. At Maiyar英会話 School, we also have qualified native speakers of English who can help you improve your English writing skills and guide you through to passing the Eiken second grade test. Thank you for watching.